Today's lecture will be a continuation of the lecture on Chapter 1 and then a brief presentation on Chapter 2. The first thing I'd like to do is to take you to the WebCT site and show you a couple of new things on there and provide additional guidance on how we will interface the resources on the WebCT website with the lecture material, and especially when we reach the point of being independent from the textbook. So let me switch this to the computer here. I viewed the previous lecture where in class I was seeing the computer on my screen here of what should have been recorded, but for some reason the streaming video only showed me looking at the computer where I didn't think I was on there. So the prior recorded lecture trying to demonstrate this new link, the endo text on the website did not show up, so hopefully it's recording now. You should go to this site and view the information there. What I want to show you today are primarily three things. There'll be four, I guess. We'll go to course materials and talk about that a bit. We'll go into communication tools. I'll show you the email that I sent. We'll go into assessment tools, and then we will go into student profile. And I'll explain why for all these in just a moment. The first thing I'll do is go to communication tools, the private mail. I've already opened mine, but yours will show you a new email there from me, extra readings and links. So there are extra readings under the course content, so this email instructs you what to go and to look for to begin viewing and reading some of the supplemental materials. There is also a link here. So there is an email waiting for you when you first log on to my WebCT. This is the neuroendocrinology showing here. Mine is only showing that there are quizzes available, so I've created a sample test on the pre-recorded lectures that are available with the corresponding slides and our first couple of lectures, so you can take it 3 times and just get accustomed to taking an exam through the WebCT. Yours, when you first open it, it will also be a little envelope there showing you that there's an email that I had sent you. So these are the icons that tell you that you need to give some attention to this course on your WebCT that is of some urgency. I'll just go to the PowerPoint here very quickly. This is slide number 10 that we ended the lecture on in the previous recorded lecture. And we had talked about the influence of the adrenal cortical hormones on hippocampal neurons. So we'll begin today's lecture after I continue discussing the stuff on the new information on WebCT with slide number 11 from the file titled Chapter 1 and 2. So let me go back to WebCT that contains some articles relevant to this particular discussion here, and is also described to you. You're instructed also through the email that I just showed you. So under course materials, there is the course content, and I've reorganized these a bit. There's journal articles for behavior lectures. Then there's details of the neuroendocrine axis, and I'll continue to get these organized so they are in sequence and tell you when, by this number, you need to go and take a look at them. So when you click on this, there are several articles here relevant to what we just covered. Mostly the first 3, maybe the fourth. Certainly the first one here, when we open it, stress hormones and brain aging, adding injury to insult. And if you scroll down, you see here's the figure that we have in our lecture and some additional information. It's a short article, so you should go and read it and gain an understanding of the concepts being presented in that. I will generate exam questions for exam 1 from this particular article. Then cortisol levels during human aging predict hippocampal atrophy and memory deficits. So this is a primary research article, more so, a brief review. So make sure you read this one over as well. I'll extract a couple of questions on the first exam from that paper. The next one, modulation of cognition-specific cortical activity by gonadal steroids, a positron emission tomography study in women. Certainly an interesting research article. Very likely I won't take much from this. Let's just go through and see what figures we have. I don't see any really exciting figures to pull out and try to generate an exam question either. But if you see graphs that are more comprehensive as far as the content than what we see here with just 3 bars on this simple bar graph, you can suspect, if there's 2 or 3 lines, excuse me, if there's 2 or 3 lines on the graph, or it's a pretty complex study with a complex graph or even a photographic illustration, you want to make sure that you look them over when I give these assignments so that you could answer questions about them. So beginning to look these over is very important for you to begin to develop your ability to integrate primary research literature, review articles with what we're looking at in our textbook. It's not so directly relevant right now. We're still in the rather global overview phase of this. We'll come back to look at some other molecules of relevance a bit later. I had hoped originally to dedicate a significant amount of time to looking at the interactions of the neuroendocrine system and neurotransmitters and behavior, and that's why you'll see many articles listed here. If I bring you back to these later, I'll tell you which ones specifically to take a look at. Right now, really, it's just the first 2, and then read over the third one. So I'll go back to the home page now, and I showed you under communication tools what's going on there. Of course, under course materials, I now have lecture files. This is what didn't show up last time. They're both as PowerPoint and Adobe PDF. Right now I only have the Chapter 1 and 2 posted there, but I'll get the rest loaded as we go along, and in future years they'll be there permanently. Going now to assessment tools. Of course, well, it's not going anywhere. That's strange. I'll have to go and take a look at that. Okay, WebCT, what are you doing? Under assessment tools, you'll see quizzes and tests. What I have done is I've put a sample test there. So I'll show you now very quickly how you can take the sample test. When it is available, have this little pencil on there. You saw when you first log on, there's a little yellow folder there telling you that there's a quiz that's due soon. So I posted it for a certain number of days from today through the 10th of September before the real first exam will show up there. It tells you that you have 50 minutes. There's, well, I already did it once. I only got a grade of 86 out of 100 the first time. So very likely, I didn't look at the key. Very likely some of these errors that I made are where I didn't type in exactly what they wanted in the short answer, and some of them I probably just plain got wrong because I didn't study before I took the exam. It also shows you on this one there's 1 attempt completed and 2 attempts remaining. So I gave you 3 opportunities to look at this. You can click on the view scores and see statistics and stuff like that. You can click here, I guess, view class statistics and a variety of things if you want to take the time to do all of that. Once you click on the test, it gives you one last chance before you activate it, because once you start it, you've got to finish it. If you leave it, then that attempt is lost. So once you start it, you've got to go through the whole thing. So there are instructions here that tell you how to do it, and you should read this over carefully and get practiced on this, so when it comes time to take test 1, you're not dealing with all of this brand new. So when you click begin quiz, your clock begins timing you. Over here on the upper right hand side, you'll get only one question at a time, but you can go to any question that you want. When you're going to answer the question, let's go back to one here. You would pick the response and then save that answer. Remove the pip here. You click on save the answer and then go to the next question. So you just go on through. I'm going to just keep going to the next question. See, so you can go to the next question without saving, navigating here or doing it on this button system over here. Again, there's a key here. When the check mark is there, you have answered it. When there is an exclamation point in a white box, it's answered and not saved. So before you click finish, make sure you look and you've got a check mark on every one of your questions. So this is an example of the short answer. The cytosol and the organelles are two components of the nucleus, which you should recognize as misspelled and wrong. So when I save the answer, it doesn't tell me it's wrong right then, but later when you get it finished and graded, it'll show you the questions. You won't see the text of the questions, but it'll show you each question and the score that you got for each of those. So you'll be able to tell which questions by question number you got wrong, but I don't let you see the text. It's just one of those secretive, protective things. I'm going to go to another one. One of them was multiple choice. Where was it? So these are just the short answer ones where you see the blank there. So here's a multiple choice. You may want to enlarge the window on this one. Scroll it down. It's showing you the questions. There are 10 in this one multiple choice question. Matching question. These are the possible answers. And then one down here, you would pick the one that you want to go along with this, and so on and so forth. When you're done, you save the answer for all the 10 at once. So that's why this one shows that it is worth 20 points. 10 items to be matched. They're each worth 2. So I'm going to finish now, and it tells me that I have not, some questions have not been answered. Do you want to proceed? Submit the quiz for grading. Okay. Right, so obviously my score on my second attempt isn't going to be very good. Let's view the results there. So here you can see the questions, and it tells you I got 0 out of 2, question not answered, and so on and so forth. So it gives you that feedback immediately. Go to the home page under the student profile and check your grades. So it shows, and when I get all the tests up here, they'll all be listed here. So it's showing, I have it set so that the highest grade is the one that comes in here. When there's multiple attempts, you can either have the first attempt, the highest, the lowest, the average, whatever it is, end up here and count toward the final grade. In this course, my intention is to give you one chance to take the exam online, but I will take emails for discussing that and at least working, maybe giving you a second chance on the first exam to begin to continue to develop your skills for doing it, but ultimately it will come down to having the one attempt for each exam.